What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is May 25th, 2020. I hope you all are well. Oh my God, the coffee stuck in my mouth. And happy Memorial Day to those that celebrate. We don't do that in Canada. We had a Victoria Day last Monday, so hope you guys are well. I believe it's also a UK holiday. Hopefully we still have members up and awake and not sleeping in. Who knows how the markets will be. Sometimes they're slower on these days, sometimes not. Just depends. Before we get started for today's session, we'll be going over some announcements, as always. And so, if you're not on the Discord, this place to be. If you're tired of me talking about the announcements and you just want to get the info, it's all there on our Discord. The link to sign up is in the description of the video. Make sure you sign up. Very quickly, just two things I want to talk about. One was the Traders Challenge. We are still accepting members to join. Basically, if you grow a demo account once, you'll get a lifetime membership with us for our Forex trading room and our signals. If you grow it a second time, you can get a 25K funded live account. The only requirement is that you're a live member already, and there's no really cost to actually sign up for the challenge. You just have to be a member. And who knows, you might end up walking away with a lifetime membership or a 25K account. Second thing, which we're really excited about, is the Forex Smart Effects Managed Account Program. It's run by our yours truly Institute Trader, and if you know him on Discord, he has been killing it. He works based on institutional concepts, which aren't really taught in the retail world in Forex. And we have the My FX book there as well, so if you want to take a look at it, you could, but it averages around 6 to 10% per month, with very, very low drawdown, around a 5% max. So it's very rare for the gain to be higher than the drawdown, but that's the case with this program. And with ATC, the risk is pretty much customizable. You can go 4 times the risk if you're really looking for really large gains. You can go half the risk for slow conservative gains. It's all up to you. And the minimum balance required is only 3K. So again, if you're interested in the Smart Effects program or the Traders Challenge, all you have to do is email support@forexlens.com, or you can even message Allison on Discord, and she will set you up. So those are the two main announcements. Again, if you want more information, it's on the Discord itself where the respective links are, and the link to sign up to Discord is free. So I thought since it was Memorial Day, we'll look at the dollar index. I think it's going to be a major week for the dollar, especially based on how it ended off last week. So we'll be doing that, and for the people on YouTube, we'll be getting to your questions as well. Ideally, you want to be on the Discord where you can chat with me in the community sections, or so for example here, what did it go? Community discussions. Or here, community discussions, or in the user requested TA. Good morning, Alex. Hope you're well. So dollar index. Let's start off. So last week it was pretty much an up week, even though it spent a few days consolidating. You can see a clear uptrend since the 21st of May, right? And we've come above the 99.50 psychological level we have plotted here. Now the next kind of target level for dollar index was at this green line, right at 100 flat psychological level. You can see we pretty much came virtually close to it. We went as high as 99.97, so we were off by 0.03, but nonetheless, we can practically assume that we hit that level, and we have kind of reacted that way, a bit bearish from that level, which is fine. The only issue is that in the past we do like to do that similar retracement from this level. So if I just pull this down a bit and just cover the recent reaction here, you can see we tried to pull back, and then we had to jump back up to the top side, and that's what we're looking for here. Currently, we did do that pullback. Now it's time for the buyers to come in and take this higher. Today's Memorial Day, so I'm not sure if that'll happen today. It might be a very slow day, but as long as we stay above, I guess, this 4 support. As long as we stay above 99.70, I'm still looking for bulls in the dollar, and therefore we're looking for 2 shorts the majors. So we've seen similar price action where we do retrace from this level before we shoot up. So we just have to be patient. Euro has followed a bit on Sunday, but since then it's kind of pulled back. The 4-hour candle looks a bit suspect. That's why I really don't trade Sundays, but looking for buys for the dollar this week. Last week we talked about shorting pound dollar and NZD USD as well as NZD yen. So I'm talk about those pairs as well. I do want to get us an entry at least in today's session or maybe later today. So that's the dollar index. Let's take a look at the euro. We gave a setup on Friday, and we'll just take a look and see again the 4-hour candle. Very important. You can see this was on Sunday, and actually this was early London session. Right after midnight, 1 a.m. You can see this 4-hour candle. Not really bearish, not really a bearish candle. Candle we like to enter on. It's a bearish hammer, very long to the bottom. And this is the candle that just basically can ruin a trade setup if you enter on pending orders. Because if you enter on pending orders, your order got activated and your order got stopped out immediately. And that's why I mean, you can call me stubborn, but I'd rather watch the price action and save money and get high probable setups. So again, if this were a candle closed bearish down here, I'm pretty sure euro would be on its way to the downside. But since it closed the way it did, we're just gonna have to wait. So just gonna transfer this over, and same criteria matters. Again, we need a 4-hour bearish closure below 1.08800 to go short, and who knows, we can get it in the next, next 4-hour candle, or maybe in the next day, depending on how slow the day is. But this idea still stands. I don't believe I sent it on Friday. I don't like to send in trade setups on Friday, just because I might give people the idea that I'm telling them to enter. But I'll send this in now. Similar trade setup we have for pound dollar. Right, on Friday we discussed, looking for the break of this level, 1.21600 to go short. Now, we talked about the opportunity that pound dollar has. Obviously, it's in a downtrend. I'm not sure why it's not saving that trend line we drew, but we drew this trend line, and we said that we either could go from here back up to here, and then when we reject, we'll go down to make a new low, as the price action is still following that lower high, lower low pattern down here. So bearish for the pound dollar as well. There is some support here, so it may make a rally. Again, it may just end at this trend line, but we'll see. I would want to take a look at NZD, Aussie, and NZD yen. We have the Royal Bank of New Zealand meeting this week, so that's definitely going to be a major event. And last week we shorted NZD USD. We had our first take profit before kind of reverting back to entry. Now these recent 4-hour candles are going to be a bit indecisive, but it's looking more like buys to me. Just looking at the candles, indecision candle right here, bullish hammer, but more closer to indecision. We have a bullish inverted hammer, and then we have two long back-to-back bullish hammers right here. Huge long wick here, huge long wick here. Inverted hammer, another bullish hammer. I mean, this support is holding on pretty strongly. So, I mean, it's going against the bias for the week, but for the short term, at least, this is around what? 30 pips. So it's nothing too big here. It's 30 pips. We could have technically a 30 pip move to the upside. Just based on how the support has been holding and the reluctancy to go low. We can see all these candles. The price went as low as all these candles, but could not close. So for some reason, it doesn't want to go lower. Let's take a look at the schedule. So again, today's pretty boring, pretty clean. Tomorrow, actually, pretty much the same. Although we have the Royal Bank of New Zealand Financial Stability Report tomorrow. That's the CAD stuff at 5 p.m., which is unusual timing. Private capital expenditure for the Aussie. I think it's a really quiet week. Prelim GDP, and then Friday. Man, this week is quiet in terms of news. There's some, 1 or 2 events sprinkled in, but I mean, it's a very quiet week, to be honest. And then Powell speaking on Friday. I guess that's the type of week we have. So we'll see. I guess we could always change our bias, but NZD USD is looking like a long up to here. Probably not gonna give a setup just because of 30 pips. I'd rather not expose us to that. But if you're an intraday trader or a scalper, by all means. Now NZD yen, since we're on the topic of the New Zealand dollar. So again, so we saw this box on Friday that I drew up to target the range for NZD yen, and we took a short. Went out pretty nicely. Hit our first target and then pushed our partial position at entry. Now, what has happened since Sunday? I mean, this thing, I was thinking maybe we could get an entry in the morning today to go lower, but if we just remove the box, this first TP level that we used, 65.450, has held this thing up, and we've kind of pulled back since then. And so right now from NZD yen, I'm still bearish, but I don't like this erratic move. I wonder what happened over the weekend that it kind of helped the New Zealand dollar, but whatever it may be, I couldn't find it on daily effects. But we'll just wait. Usually Mondays are a bit of hit or miss, depending on if you're gonna get entry or not. So we're just gonna wait probably till Japan session where I might look for some entry for these pairs, but the New Zealand dollar has pulled back sharply, and I want to look at Aussie dollar as well. Based on just the New Zealand dollar, I'm pretty sure the Aussie has pulled back. And yeah, you can see a similar pullback as well. Friday, we're looking to short this thing, as in for this week. You can see a nice inverted hammer here as well, which is perfect to enter. But I don't enter trades on Friday. So again, this pullback is a bit weird, but it's a collective pullback this morning. So we'll just wait it out, I guess. I don't think it's going to be, this area of price is not going to be the place where Aussie dollar just does reversal. There's no reason for it to do a reversal here. So this might be because it's Memorial Day. A lot of Wall Street's pretty much closed off, and so a lot of the pairs are taking advantage of that. So that's fine. Now pair recommendations. I do want to talk about U.S. oil, but I guess I'll do that after. I'll get everyone's pair recommendations out of the way. Happy Memorial Day, FX Bro. Big G Dub, what's up? Happy Memorial Day. Hope you guys all enjoy. The barbecue would sound amazing right now. Alright, so let's get to some pair recommendations. For those on YouTube, send them in. I know a few people on Discord already have some. So Euro, we covered that just now. Okay, this is the first two actually. First time we're looking at the Chinese currency. Sell, short. That's what I'd say. Let's take a look on the. We'll go on the weekly since the weekly and the daily are not too far off. Yeah, so it's fine. Weekly, looking at the sells for this pair. USD versus Chinese yuan or yuan. Hope I'm saying that right, but you can see the resistance pretty strong. It's been pretty strong for quite some time actually, since August of 2019. Really good. I was gonna draw a zone, but I think I can do. Yeah, it's perfect. So the resistance in question is at 7.16422, 7.16422. Based on the weekly time frame, and we actually made an attempt last week. Looks like we're gonna make another attempt to go at it again. If we do break it, the next kind of area for price would probably be that one time we broke it back in August 2019 at 7.19557. Now, if we just look to the left, just on a monthly, just to see some history. And that's pretty surprising. I don't know if it's just this broker FXCM, but going to 2012, we are actually, this thing has always been going up. Actually surprising. Let's see. I'm trying to look for the all-time. Okay, cool. I guess a lot of these pairs are just have data to 2012. No worries. Obviously you can see it's in a huge bull rally, right? Kind of looks like Bitcoin. Um, so let's take a look at the daily and see what's up. So yeah, so last week, 22nd, we made a nice tap at this level, and I think this week we're probably gonna go again up. That's what, as we are bullish on the dollar. 4 hour time frame. Now the 4 hour tells a different story. On 4 hour, you actually see a secondary resistance. On 4 hour time frame, just at these highs, you can see we had a sell off here, we had a sell off here, and then we broke that level, and then we closed below once before. Let's look at it again. Right, so we broke above this white line. Sellers came back down, buyers pushed back up, and then inverted hammer, sellers pushed back down. Shoot, I've never traded this pair in my life, but I might check if my broker has it, because this looks like a pretty good short. Now, if we're just looking for places where we can take profit, right here would be fantastic. Here would be a nice place to go. As we've seen in the past, whenever we come off this level, we make our way down back to this line. We do go further, but just based on this last visit, we came from this line. This was as low as we went, so just to be safe, that'd probably be a final target zone. And now we kind of have our zone, our kind of trading range, and I wouldn't mind taking this trade. Right, something like this. If you study the anatomy of the candles right now, currently the past few 4 hour candles are great. Inverted hammer, which is great. Now, ideally, the best place to enter is just going to be after we clear this previous low we made right down here. Alright, so if we clear it, then we're definitely headed short. And so for this trade, 7.14367, around 40 pips away is what we need to break. And I'm actually pretty excited about the setup. I haven't traded this pair before, but it does look like it respects levels pretty well, right? So we need a 4 hour break on this level, and we should head lower. And just the R2R would probably look like this. Uh, 5.63. Now, if you're looking for something intraday, it could be probably down to this support. You can see a lot of wicks have accumulated here. Rallies were made from here, and so that's be a nice place to take profit. And even then, from this intraday type of setup, it's a 2.98 R2R. So that's what we'll be looking for. I'll send this in as well. And who knows, if the spreads are good, then I'll be open to taking this trade. So Euro, pound, and gold. Cool. So last time we talked about this pair, it's probably around the 12th of May. We drew this consolidation box, right? Because since April 2nd, all the way to May 12th, it's been stuck in this box, right? Pretty much consolidating. And it finally broke out of this box. And if you just look at the breakout, you can see a nice breakout to this resistance. We printed a very long hammer, we stayed above it, and then we just had this huge push to the upside. Pulling to the daily, we're going to have to get some daily and weekly perspective. Now, the daily is actually not as bullish as it seemed based on what we just talked about. I mean, we did have this huge push up, but we printed an inverted hammer. It kind of looks like we're rolling over, like kind of a roller coaster. When you go up at the drop, it's kind of just rolling over and might just pour over down. But again, the 4 hour time frame will make it simple because if you just study the daily, you can see this was our a swing low here, our high, a swing low here, and a high, right? So if we do clear this swing low right here, we should make our way back down to this resistance level at 0.83350 because it's been such an important level. I think that's where price will be pulled to. And so to the 4 hour time frame, we'll identify this support right here. Right, so the support and the swing low is at 0.88974 or just 0.89000. Okay, just to make it simple. So that's the exactly support level we have, and we need to break down the 4-hour time frame. The price is kind of used to wicking in this level and creating wicks. So I'm not going to use a pending order, but actual 4-hour closure should take us down to this low. It's 0.88340, so around 66 pips, and that'll be a great setup. So the trend is shifting, right? And just to confirm it, we need to break this support. So 2.19 R2R, and I'll save this. I'll put an alert, and if I do get an entry, I will let you guys know as always. My throat feels weird. You take one trip to the supermarket and you start feeling all kinds of symptoms. Alright, gold. Now gold, you actually did a lesson on this on Friday, so there's two charts. But it was about being patient. I'm going to remove this. This one's the more relevant one. On Friday we discussed a short if we do breach this kind of support zone at 17.19. Now, as you can see, the recent price action, we did not break it. My alert got dinged. Actually, my alert is still fine, thank God. So my alert is still there, and the setup is still valid as well. All we have to do is just move this over, and likewise move this over. So my alert's still there. It's at 1717.84, and we're just waiting for that 4-hour break below. Again, if you use pending orders, for example, in this scenario, you would have got burnt and stopped out immediately. So yeah, that's why price action, you gotta watch it. It's a bit tedious, but it's definitely worth saving money and earning money. So we're gonna wait for that same idea. Nothing has really changed. We just did a deep pullback to this kind of previous level we drew up, rejected it, and now this morning a lot of the majors are gaining on the dollar. I'm pretty sure it's because of the Memorial Day, but tomorrow we should have things come back into shape. So this setup is still valid. I'll probably send it in now. Just want to make sure that you guys have this as well. And there you go. So gold, short bearish, but U.S. oil, I don't know, the correlation might help gold out. But I am looking for bulls for U.S. oil. So U.S. oil. God. Alright, so the US oil, you can see the breakout out of the box we drew on Friday. Now we wanted to go long for this thing, but none of these candles respected our 4-hour strategy, and we didn't go long. We would have missed out on maybe, let's see how many pips we quote unquote missed out on. Maybe missed out on 76 pips, but you can see price ended up coming back down aggressively back to the box, and so I'd rather follow our strategy. Now this morning things have changed a bit, so if you just zoom in, you can see actually a bit early last week on Friday we had a nice 4-hour closure, and then right now this morning we're having this surge of bulls come in. So this makes sense because right now the dollar is weak against the majors, and therefore U.S. oil is technically oil versus the dollar, and therefore this thing should rise. Now we're not going to go long from here because it's going to be a bit of a newbie mistake, because this previous high is going to be a resistance, and it has acted as resistance on the smaller time frame at that 33.50 per dollar level, right? So if I just put this here, I'm going to change this level to 33.50, 34.50. So there we have it. So we're only looking for a 4-hour closure above this level to go along. It's been this thing's been testing our patience. We were looking to go short before, we didn't have it, so we have to go long. Hopefully this time around we do get that 4-hour closure and we have that long available to around 32.40, maybe even $40 a barrel is probably an optimistic but realistic goal as well. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe in the next, this 4-hour candle could push its way back up here, or even the one at the 5 p.m. market close, and we'll see then. So just a bit of a wait and see game, I guess, this week. Hopefully it's not too slow, but we'll do what we can with the cards we've been dealt. So we got Euro. Let's see. Any other pair recommendations? If not, I'm just gonna go over some really quickly. Try to find a setup to see how the USD yen is doing. Looking like a long, maybe a short now, but man, my throat feels weird. Feel weird. Aussie dollar, yeah, looks like buys. Like we discussed with NZD, it's probably gonna go back to the upside just for a bit. Pound dollar, is everything gaining this morning? It's surprising. It might be that way since the dollar's weak, therefore the majors are to the upside. Damn. Pound Aussie is not really doing too much. Okay, that's a surprise. Aussie yen, yeah, gaining as well. Damn, Americans spend one weekend barbecuing and all the bulls come out. It's literally like all the charts are mimicking each other. It's actually surprising. Euro NZD. Okay, yeah, some of the pairs that are against each other, some of the miners are just consolidating. Might be that type of start to the week, folks. It just might be that way. Yeah, it's pretty gross. So yeah, Euro hasn't done much. I mean, it's still pretty cooped in this area. So hopefully we have the short for this trade sooner rather than later. I'll put an alert at 1.08793 crossing down, and we'll see what happens. I think, shoot, this might be a week where it mainly be the midweek that helps us out in terms of getting trades. I would call a buy for pound yen if the 4-hour candle closes bullish. We can take an intraday trade, so I'll probably leave it up to my judgment in the next few hours to call a trade, or at least send in some more setups. But my goodness, it is very dry, and I think people are asleep. A lot of the members took the day off. This is what it's like when you look at charts by yourself. During my London session hours right before I go to bed. EuroCAD, pretty boring. Gave us a short entry earlier. Yep, guess it's gonna be a wait and see thing today. A lot of the pairs are just chilling. This is good. We have above 5 providers providing signals, so it's always gonna be a trade to take. But anyways, I think today's session will be actually a short one, which is not bad at all. So for those that are on YouTube and you want to get in on the sessions, Monday and Friday is free. Tomorrow is gonna be the paid session. Wednesday will be a paid session. Thursday will be a paid session. So those are sessions where we make a lot of the profits and actually get entries. And it's not really dull like today's session was. If you're looking to get in on that, plus get full access to our signals as well as our Discord. Cool, we have Surge coming in clutch. Thanks, bro. Take a look. If you want to get access to all of that, I'll give you a coupon code at the very end. I should just give it now since I made the announcement. It's first 50. You get your first month in the Forex trading room, 50% off. And to use it, all you do is you go to forexlens.com, go to Forex trading room, click get started, fill out this form, click next, and then enter a coupon code first 50, and you'll get 50% off. So great way to learn while you earn. You can't really beat that offer. And there you have it. So search came in with pound yen recommendation, and so I'm thinking of long. Past 2 4-hour candles, actually past 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 have all been hammers of some sort, either bullish or bearish, bullish and bearish. A lot of buying activity in and around this previous level, this previous low. And this morning you can see this candle is an indecision candle right now, but in the next hour and 30, if it does close a bit more bullish, it'll become a bullish hammer, and we can go long, targeting this high, right? So around a 45 pip target, I guess we'll take what we can take, just because the markets are looking very boring right now. So that's what I was thinking buys right now, even though the downtrend is still there, and so that's gonna be a bit of an issue. But let's see, if you line it up, right, if you line it wick to wick to wick, you can see we've currently actually broke out on the 4-hour time frame. So this might be actually a nice confluence. We have a breakout, we have price action showing buying activity, so we might be able to take this buy. Ideally, we want this thing to stay a bit, around here. We don't want it to get too high up, otherwise our R2R would be terrible. But I'm looking for longs in and around this area, and just to give you a possible idea of what it might look like. Something like this. I know it's not 2.0 R2R. I'm more on the reality and choosing a realistic stop loss rather than just meeting a set requirement. But this is a fine trade to take. Stop loss will be 18 pips. So again, it's not the end of the world because it's not a 2.0 R2R, but 18 pips to risk it for around 45, 40-ish pips is not bad at all. And so we'll look at this potential setup. I'll wait for the 4-hour closure to determine if we go or not. Apologize for that. Now looking at pound CAD, a bit consolidated. As you can see by this box, consolidation box. We're on the 4-hour time frame, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The past six 4-hour candles have pretty much stayed in the same spot, same kind of region. It's kind of a consolidation. Within a consolidation, you can see it right here. So let's remove this and let's draw this up. You'll see this is where pound CAD is currently at, about maybe the 15 or 30 minute time frame. You'll see an intraday kind of scalp opportunity from this top of the range down to here. It's around a 24, 25 pip move to the downside, I guess, if you want to take it for a scalper. I'd probably look at this, but just be careful. On the 15-minute time frame, we've created support at this level, at this 1.7450 level, right? You can see a lot of wicks here. I'm currently using that support, so if we do break it on the 15-minute time frame, you could probably take a short back down to this low right here, right? That's support. Again, I wish to give something a bit on the higher time frame, but it's really consolidated, and so I'm just gonna leave this as B. But as a scalper, there is a setup there if you want to take it. You just gotta break 1.70 450, and you might have a short for around 20-ish pips. Not bad. Alright, cool. So people on YouTube are all set. Surge is set. Perfect. So, yeah. Any other setups, I'll send them in. Or any questions, just let me know on Discord, and I'll send my chart work in. But yeah, it's a kind of a slow day. Obviously, 2 major markets were closed, and so we're just gonna have to be patient. And we've been in this situation before, so we'll see. A lot can change in the next 4 hours. With that being said, guys, I will see you all. I'll see the paid members tomorrow for a live session. If you're a free member, make sure you use that first 50 coupon code. I look forward to seeing you faces tomorrow. For those that have a holiday, have a great one, and we'll be back tomorrow, ready in full force, looking to enter some more trades. So peace, guys, and happy trading.